Fun. Fun.
Fan.
Fun. Fun.
Fan.
Fun.
Fan.
Fun.
Fan.
Fun.
Fan. Podcast.
Hello again, and hope you appreciated that instant classic from the first ever Fun Fan Super Bowl special. But we'd like to welcome you to the second annual Fun Fan Podcast Super Bowl special. I'm your host, James Dillard, live here at Reubens-Parkway in Greer. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, Bailey?
I'm doing super today because it's the Super Bowl.
It's all right.
And I like that throwback commercial that we did. That was good.
That was good. And we're going to have a super show today. We're going to revisit Clemson's huge win at Chapel Hill and probably talk a little bit about their other big victory just yesterday. And I've already said we're live at Reubens, and I have a special guest. I can't wait. Let's just go ahead and show the special guest, because we're going to have to show this guest will be off and on. We'd like to welcome the Wing Camp to the show, to the Super Bowl show here at Reubens. That is Reubens' original molasses-based wings, and they are just unreal. So they're open here today, open at the Powdersville location as well. So call your order in to go or come over and watch the game because these are the best wings in the Southeast. But first,
wait a minute. Okay. We might as well tell them that they can get order online at ReubensC.com, or they can visit 1083 Batesville Road in Greer, where you are, or 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont. And you can go check out the Wing Cam if you do that today. So thanks to Reubens.
Yeah. If you get here fast enough, we put you on the show.
That's right.
And we are a proud part of the Fanboys Fangirls Sports Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, the Fanboys Fangirls is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts and other sports media at thefanboys.com and on all forms of social media. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to let Bailey take over and revisit the Clemson basketball segment before we get to our Super Bowl stuff today. Bailey, tell us about Clemson basketball.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you probably heard me screaming in my yard after the Tigers picked up their second win all time at Chapel Hill on Tuesday night. And it was incredible. The second out of 62 games at Chapel Hill. And our man, Brad Brownell, has won both of them as coach. And I told you a couple weeks ago, or a week or two ago, it's all about shots going in the basket. And that's exactly what happened. Clemson took every punch that North Carolina gave them, and they made the Baby Blues hit the exits a little bit early the other night, which was incredible. And then picked up another big win yesterday on the road at Syracuse, which is always a tough place to play basketball or football. And so now we're 6-6 in the conference. Everybody's back on the Clemson bandwagon, and guaranteed lock almost without an epic collapse in the tournament based on who they've beaten and where they've beaten them. And 8 games left, and the beauty of this is 5 of them are at home. Okay, and then they're against people that are some of them are against people above us in the conference standings. So we're going to finish 4th or 5th. I'm calling it right now. And 4th gives you another day of a bye. 5th, but hey, they're going to finish right where everybody thought they might. Maybe a little bit higher, but not. It's not gloom and doom. We don't need to fire the coach. He doesn't make shots. Players make shots. He gets them the shots. So, way to go, Tigers.
Good job, Tigers.
Wednesday night against the Hurricanes at home, and next Saturday against the Wolfpack at home.
Very good. You know what they must have had when they went to Chapel Hill?
A lot of Dubby.
They must have had a little energy. Go to w.gg and enter promo code FUNFANS for your 10% off of your Jitterless energy drink. All right, let's just get to it. We're live from We have a special guest with us today. It's the Wing Cam. It is Super Bowl Sunday. You can see in the background that there's a little bit of a crowd. They're just starting to trickle in. Kickoff isn't until 6:30, but they have to-go orders just lining up over there because people know that this is the place to get your wings. This is the place to get your wrap. So just go to Reubens or look them up and call and get your to-go order. So the first order of the Fun Fan Special, we're talking about Super Bowl LVIII. So a real quick discussion on Roman numerals, okay? So Bailey, the origination of the Roman numeral, any idea?
Ancient Rome.
Ancient Rome, yes. And it's a tally mark. So they're using their fingers. So the I's, what looks like a capital I to us, it's just like counting with your fingers. But as anyone that knows sign language, or if you're communicating mostly out in the field as we are with our flock, in ancient Rome, our cattle or our sheep, and we're trying to communicate, once you get above about 3 fingers, it gets confusing. So that's why when you get to the 5, it turns into a 1 in front or a 1 behind to subtract and make the 4. And the V for the 5, they say, comes from the V your hand forms with your thumb.
Okay.
So there's a little history on the Roman numeral. The L, I think they just made the L up, but we know the C comes from the Latin word for 100, which I can't think of right now, and the M comes from the word for 1,000. So that's why this is Super Bowl 58. L stands for 50, and then VII is 533, which adds up to 8. And they got away from any idea why they got the Romans, as they were taking over the world back in the day, got away from the Roman numeral system?
I have no idea.
Well, eventually you run out of fingers. Imagine doing your taxes. It's tax season, right? So imagine doing your taxes with your fingers. So that's kind of the simplistic version of the Roman numerals and why they went away.
I can do mine with my fingers.
Yeah, there you go. Thumbs down. But one more Super Bowl point about Roman numerals. In 2016, even the Super Bowl got away from the Roman numerals for Super Bowl 50 because they felt just the L by itself to represent 50. That didn't make a powerful statement on the logo, and that was what was reported by ESPN. So as you're enjoying Super Bowl 58, you can thank the Fun Fans.
That's interesting because I didn't know that. I'd like to thank you now for sharing that with me.
You're quite welcome. So another way that ties to the Super Bowl, who's the halftime show?
Usher.
If you look up Usher's greatest hits on Spotify, there are 9 songs that start with just one letter. Okay, so little known fact. 4 of the songs start with the letter U, even though it represents the word you. It just starts with the letter, but okay. 3 songs start with the letter I, and one song starts with an O, and one song starts with a D, like literally just a letter, like OMG, and D stands for like, I don't know what that one stands for, but I'm sure the ancient Romans would have had a field day with Usher and the beginning of his songs. Do you recognize any of those one letter?
I'm going to go with You Got It Bad.
Yeah.
And there's one called, I think, I Need a Girl.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Well, the other one's the OMG. You would recognize it when you heard it. And Bailey and I both agree the official Fun Fan favorite Usher song is Yeah. Sing it, B.
I can't
From
do
2000.
Hey, you know what we need to do? How's our guest doing?
Now, let's see. Let's check on the wing cam.
Oh, still resting.
Still there. Got some ranch dressing to go with it. Man, it's going to be on point here when I'm done with this show. All right. Bailey, you got the next segment, it looks like.
I do, and I thought this would be interesting to talk about some famous NFL people and who they look like in terms of cartoon characters or animated. I will call them actors, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So who's first?
The Panthers.
Oh, So everybody knows David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, who meddles in team business. He looks just like Al McWiggin from Toy Story 2. Al was the toy collector who was very greedy and was one of the villains in Toy Story 2, or the villain. And if you've got kids between the ages of 30 and 2, you watch all the Toy Stories. So
all of them.
That is Mr. David Tepper, and he is Al McWiggin from Toy Story. Looks just like him. Oh, and now new Panthers coach Dave Canales. Dave Canales is everybody in Charlotte's excited because he looks just like Woody from Toy Story. All right, now, hey, I'm pumped for the Panthers because you know what? I watch them when they're 2-15. I might as well watch them when they win a few more games next year.
Might as well. The only joke I have heard a joke that the only thing further away from the Super Bowl than Taylor Swift being in Tokyo is the Carolina Panthers. So that was
But Taylor is now in Las Vegas.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now we got Kansas City head coach Andy Reid, and that is Don Carlton from Monsters U. All right, Don is described as a career person who wants to chase his dream of scaring, and he re-enrolls in college at Monsters U. So Don Carlton and Andy Reid look just alike.
Without a doubt.
And then Christian McCaffrey, former Panther, current 49er. He is Buzz Lightyear. I think he played Buzz Lightyear, it looks like, from those two pictures. And he certainly has some superpowers. But,
And finally, speaking of the
next Kansas City Chief is Taylor Swift. And she looks just like Elsa from Frozen. And Elsa, she can magically turn everything into winter and snow and ice. And she accidentally did that on her coronation as queen of Arendelle in the movie Frozen. And if you've got a daughter between the ages of 25 and 2, you've seen Frozen.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
Very good.
I had some fun with that.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. That's what we're here to do. We have some fun. And we're out here at Reubens. You can see the TVs in the background. And then, like I say, there's more and more people trickling in. One more check. The wings are still there. The ones you'll order will be warmer than these, but they're not. They're going to look just as good every time they get it right here at Reubens. All right, so our final Fun Fan segment. Bailey, you want to give the history first, or we want to give our list?
Yeah, so I'm going to. Everybody talks about, they used to talk about commercials at the Super Bowl, and I've written papers on this stuff for sports marketing classes and things like that. And obviously the first couple TV timeouts are the most expensive, but the halftime show is now what everybody talks about. But do you know that in 1992 they had a show that was a winter wonderland and had some ice skaters and some, that was the theme, and it was viewed by less people because they flipped over to Fox, which, if you remember, if you're our age, you remember Fox was a startup network around the late 80s, early 90s, and they had this show called In Living Color, all right, where people like Jim Carrey got his start. And so what they did is they played an episode of In Living Color as soon as halftime started, and everybody flipped over to watch In Living Color and missed the halftime show in 1992 because it was a Frozen Winterland ice skating exhibition.
And I remember that. I love In Living Color.
Oh, yes. Fox, if you remember, Fox started after it would come on, and like on Sunday nights, they had the Tracy Ullman show, which included The Simpsons as a skit in that show, and then In Living Color. And then they were the home of the Arsenio Hall show for years until that fizzled. But that's how Fox got their start, and now they're one of the biggest networks in America. But what did they have to do next year at the Super Bowl, James?
Bam.
They had to get the king of pop, Michael Jackson. All right.
And that changed everything.
That flipped the script, and now the halftime show, the thing is announced 6 months before, and it's this big deal. And so we ranked our most popular or our favorite ones, didn't we?
We did.
All right.
So we got the top 5 Fun Fans Super Bowl halftime show. Starting with number 5 in 2017, Lady Gaga.
She rappelled in
Yeah.
to the stage, but you know what? That was pre-recorded.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
But anyway, that's
Right,
hey, I like Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Number 4 is a real classic.
Yep, that was a good one too. Had
1997.
James Brown.
Yep.
James Brown was in it. Man, that was a good one.
All right. And this one is very recent.
That was
awesome.
a good one. That was a good one.
Unreal. Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
that was really, really good.
That was a good one.
And that's why it made number 3. The number 2, I mean, now, come on, it's Prince.
This is given number 1 by every publication. We'd like to thank the internet for helping us with this, but we're not going to list all of our sources. But Prince is number 1 in every single publication. But we were picking our list.
That's right. And so our number 1 Fun Fan Super Bowl halftime show goes right back to the King.
You can't. I mean, he was on top of the world during that time period between 82 and 94. He was the king of pop. That's why he's the king of pop.
That's why he's the king of pop. That's awesome. So those are the Fun Fan top halftime shows. And speaking of kings, the king of wings here at Reubens. Welcome back to the Wing Cam. You know they
said anything?
They haven't said anything, but they're a little disappointed because the Wings were going to have some loaded tots to be on camera with them. They didn't have to be shy, but me and my daughter's back here.
Ate them.
Yeah, we kind of took care of the loaded tots.
So what flavor wings is that?
That's the original molasses base. So wings, they have the molasses base. And if you say original, they have the buffalo style original as well, mild and hot. But I love this molasses-based stuff. It's got a little bit of sweet and a little bit of spicy all at the same time.
They're good. They're delicious.
Absolutely unreal. All right. So, speaking of the game itself, there is going to be a game. It's going to be football. I think the pregame singers are going to be cool. I think that's going to be good. They got Reba and 2 other folks singing 2 other songs. I just definitely remember Reba singing the national anthem. San Francisco versus the Chiefs. What do you think about the game itself, Bailey?
Well, I'm glad. First of all, I'm glad Taylor made it there. She flew from Tokyo, and now get this. I'm not familiar with this problem. Okay, there was no private parking in Las Vegas for her plane, so she had to park her plane. It's suspected she parked it in Los Angeles and then drove the 4.5-5 hours to Las Vegas, but she had plenty of time to get there. And I don't really know if I have a favorite. I mean, I'll go with San Francisco because I think Christian McCaffrey's a great player. I think Brock Purdy gets too much criticism. The dude was the last pick in the draft. Give him some credit for being in the Super Bowl and being an MVP candidate, making less than the backup quarterback at the University of Texas. Right? And then Debo Samuel's head football coach was on here.
Yep.
And Debo's a Gamecock, and he's an unbelievable athlete. And he wanted to go to Clemson anyway, all right, according to his head coach. So let's just pull for the 49ers tonight. I'm really pulling for the final scores of every quarter and the end of the game.
All right. That sounds like you might have something. Not that I'm implying that you're doing anything, but I saw the Super Bowl, just for people, it's an unreal event. It is one of the biggest events in the world. It's not just a sporting event. I'm tuning in to my Sirius XM radio earlier in the week, just listening to, I don't remember, 80s on 8 or whatever it was. And the DJ was in Vegas week of the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, everything's going on with the Super Bowl. There have been shows, segments on the news about the security and, the build up and everything. We talked about the security on last year's show. But one thing that I saw yesterday was an estimated $1.5 billion, that's billion with a B, of dollars is gambled on the Super Bowl or something to do with the Super Bowl. So and only about half of it is like the score. The other half is they're actually betting on what song Usher is going to sing first.
Right.
So
those are prop bets. Heads or
prop
tails
bets.
On the coin toss. Will there be a kickoff through the back of the end zone? Will there be a cameraman hit with a football? Stuff like that. And I heard today on the radio that Drake is betting. I think he's betting on San Francisco $1 million.
Wow.
And it's rumored that anytime he bets on somebody, you should pick the opposite because he hasn't won in several years. But I mean, people are crazy, you know.
It's a lot of money, lots and lots of money.
Somebody put $600,000 on whether or not Brock Purdy would be the Super Bowl MVP. $600,000.
Not only do they need to win, he needs to be which if they win, he's probably going to be one of the main players, of course, but there's a chance, even if they win, that he's not the MVP. So,
what they need to do is share some of that money they wasted.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Send it on to the fun fans. Just email jdilla7791 for sponsorships. But I think I agree with Bailey that I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a good game. I think there are going to be some exciting plays. I really think it's going to be a fun game to watch. We did that segment during the college football season with Patrick Mahomes and that offense and San Francisco and Debo and the folks that Bailey just named earlier. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think each defense has their hands full, and it's hard not to pull for San Francisco because of the storyline with Purdy being the last chosen in the draft, et cetera, et cetera. Plus the fact that Debo's high school head football coach was on our show, friend of ours. And we want Debo and San Francisco to do well, but I might have to pull for the Chiefs. I don't know, just kind of a gut feeling on if you're worried about pulling for the team that wins, I think they may pull it out. Mahomes' magic just seems to be something to be dealt with. But
and you got there's 5 Clemson Tigers in the Super Bowl.
All right.
You have Cornell Powell and Justin Ross are on the Kansas City roster. Don't know if they'll be active, but they still get a ring if they win. And then Austin Bryant, Farrell, and Ray McLeod is their kick return guy.
Yep.
For San Francisco. So good luck to the Tigers.
Good luck to the Tigers. All right. Speaking of Tigers, we're about to wrap it up here, but we definitely want to mention on February 24th, Clemson versus South Carolina hockey. Speaking of the Fun Fans Live, the Fun Fans will be in the house. So look for us at that event. That's going to be a very fun match, hockey match there. And let's just take one last look at the wing cam. Yeah, we'll just sit here and stare at the wing cam. If you're the audio only on this one, you are really we say that every once in a while, but if you're audio only on this show, you're definitely missing out. You need to go find it on somewhere where you can see this video. Just come on out to either of the Reubens locations at any time, not just today, and get the best wings around. So, Bailey, I think it's a great show today. Is that a super enough show?
It was super.
It was a super show. We hope you enjoy the show. We hope you enjoy the Super Bowl. We hope you do make it out to Reubens today or sometime in the near future. We appreciate you checking us out each and every Sunday and Wednesday. Don't forget to click subscribe on the Fun Fans Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on all social media, and please share the shows. On behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, J Thrill Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, and Bailey Jackson.
That's right. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Hashtag don't fire Brad Brownell. Let's go.
Hey, go. I can look forward to the commercials, and go Tigers.
That's right.